Madam Chair, members, for the record, Brooke Holguin, Assistant Analyst for the Commerce Committee. House Bill 2153 specifies that homeowners associations do not have the authority to regulate any roadway, easement, or other area that a government entity has ownership over. And with that, Madam Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Members, are there any questions?
Thank you, members, and thank you for your support on the last bill. Again, Nancy Bartow, Representative District 7. And again, I appreciate Madam Chairman and members hearing this bill again. If you remember, the basic intent of House Bill 2153 and almost the exact wording came through this committee last session and passed the House with 44 votes. It got stuck in the Senate, and so we are going at it again. This bill has been seen a few times, actually, before even I picked it up because it is of such import. And I'm afraid if we do not succeed this time, we will be back next time because it's affecting so many homeowners in every part of our state. Basically, I won't take too long, but what the bill will do simply is clarify in law a very confusing situation. Homeowners associations are taking authority that is not rightful theirs. And so this bill will clarify in statute that homeowners associations do not have authority to regulate publicly owned roads within their communities. Unfortunately, some, not all certainly, but some homeowners associations try and do that. And so homeowners that live within these communities are very confused because they're trying to live under two different sets of rules. Those that the homeowners associations impose through their CC&Rs, regulating when and where they can park their cars on these public roads, and those that are already in law under ordinance, under city or county ordinances that already have jurisdiction over these roads. And they also provide the maintenance and liability and are in charge of safety. So this simply will clarify the law and set homeowners free from some of the practices going on all over the state. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and again, Ms. Bartow. This is fairly clear. If the city or county owns the road or taxpayers own the road, then they have jurisdiction over that, and if the homeowners association owns the road, they have it. It's pretty clear, isn't it? I mean, that's the intent of it.
Madam Chairman, Representative Shaven, that's exactly right.
And Madam Chairman, Ms. Bartow, if, for instance, there are issues of public safety, let's say blocking fire hydrants and obstruction of right-of-way, there's nothing that would prohibit a municipality or governing body to contract with the homeowners association in enforcing some of those issues. Is there? I mean, there are cities that hire private companies to enforce parking regulations and collect parking meter fees. That's all permissible under the law, and that could be achieved that way, could it not?
Absolutely, Madam Chairman, Representative Chabin. In fact, that's how it works currently on these streets. They do have full access without any contracting with the cities because they are in charge and they have jurisdiction over public safety on those streets already. In fact, they're the only ones that legally can do anything in regards to public safety. They're the only ones that can legally tow.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Are there any further questions of Representative Bartow? Thank you, Representative Bartow.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Madam Chairman, we have 6 people wishing to speak. Madam Chairman, members of the committee, for the record, my name is Kevin DeMena. I'm here on behalf of the community, my client, the Community Associations Institute, and we're here in opposition to the legislation. For many of you, this is not unfamiliar to you. However, I will briefly make the points that I think go right to the heart of this issue. This is not an issue of roadways. It's not an issue of neighbors, of over-enforcement. It's an issue of contracts. Very simply, if, given the way this is worded, the legislature will continue its slow march to try to become the regulating body governing HOAs in Arizona. As a sidebar, I want to make it clear that we continue to propose legislation that upon a quorum of 50% of the members of the HOA and 2/3 present voting in favor, you can change the contracts. You can do away or enact restrictions. Now, those numbers just happen to be, I think, last year's numbers, long series of negotiations over the years. We've tried to create thresholds that are viable at the local level so that we vest control in these associations. Now, that's a discussion for another day, but that is the ideal way to do this, locally controlling this. What this says is if you do have a city street running through your neighborhood, your HOA, and you band together your HOA and decide unanimously that you do not want RVs, or you want to enforce the parking of RVs in front of one's home, that you're unable to do that. If enacted, this will make that, notwithstanding any provision in the community documents, there will be no way you will be able to amend community documents to change your circumstances as it relates to these roadways. Publicly owned roadways. But if a majority, and as I said, heaven forbid, unanimous, decide that they do want some form of regulation, then what you have is an inability to do so. I need to make it very clear. The city can enforce this. I'm not sure. I don't know if there are any cops left in the cities after what's going on with our budget situation. But I encourage you to consider that alternative. Madam Chairman and members, Representative Bartow has been very accommodating on this legislation. And my memories are fresh from last year. And we continue to have a dialogue. I would encourage you, at the least, to perhaps hold this legislation for a week. Give us an opportunity to try to find that middle ground. But that middle ground is a more global solution, which is to make it easier for local residents, for your HOA, for your association, to change the contract that you signed when you moved in. Now, we're happy, again, to go to work on that. In the event you have any technical questions, I have an attorney here with our group who represents a little over 3,000 of what we estimate to be the 15,000 HOAs in Arizona. I recently moved into one. I enjoy it. I made that choice. I think it's pretty clear that the market that used to exist for building homes was headed in that direction as well. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Dimena?